Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI, third time's a charm. Today we are continuing our 2020 draft coverage of the Detroit Red Wings 2020
I feel like you have to have your hand
draft.
in the thing. There you go.
So we are on round 4 right now. So that was Sam Stange. He is a forward. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, and he was picked 97th overall. So we're going to talk about him, kind of his future, what we think of him, what we think are his strengths and weaknesses. You know the drill.
Because
Here we go.
We are professionals.
Let's go.
2019, 2020, he was with the Sioux City Musketeers. He did an excellent job, and he had 42 points in 44 games. He spent the last 3-4 seasons with the USHL, so he spent some time developing.
And we love them.
We do love them.
We love the USHL.
He was traded at the tail end of what was to be the tail end of the season to the Sioux Falls Stampede, and then the pandemic hit, and it got canceled and everything. So he didn't.
And again, you know the drill. You know the story.
Yeah, it's one. We've been we're still upset about it, a little bitter. But he did very, very well while he was with the Musketeers, at least, and that's a good benchmarker because he was eligible for the draft last season, got passed over. This was his second year of eligibility, and he really amped up his production as well with the Musketeers. And so that really pushed himself into the limelight, which got Detroit's attention. Right. So now this season, 2020 and 2021, thankfully we have hockey going. He's with the University of Wisconsin, which is an amazing team. And they actually have a former Red Wings coach there. Tony Granato is their head coach there, so he's got some Red Wings infiltration, I guess you could say, or influence is the word I'm looking for. Infiltration. But in about 7 games played so far this season, he's had 3 points already, so it's pretty good transition into the collegiate level, I think.
Yeah, so Sam himself thinks himself as a power forward, so that's a great thing to already be confident in. And 200 pounds, 6'1" at a young age is really great for the developmental time, as you know, we think that you gotta get bigger, you gotta get stronger, and if he's already starting off big and strong, he's just gonna get bigger and stronger.
It's worth noting he's 19, so he's a little bit further ahead.
Yeah, because he did miss out on the drafting last year. Yep. So that being said, he thinks he's a power forward. He does think he's got a buzzword two-way game, which is very important. So he says he's responsible with his forward, and he's also a responsible defenseman as well. So that's super great to know, and that's super great that he's already confident in that, and that he's already identified those things as things he wants to grow on and improve on. I feel like he's a very self-aware kid.
He is,
as far as he knows his game, he knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and I think that's very encouraging going forward. He's not a shy shooter, so there's thankfully, because he was in the USHL, there's plenty of footage on him. So I would say to go watch that.
Hockey TV.
Yeah, I would say to go watch that. Just because it does show he's not a shy shooter. The one thing about the USHL that we always know is that it's not going to be the same as, of course, college and AHL and then NHL. So a lot of the times when these kids are drafted in the 2nd to 7th rounds or however many, it really ends up being like they put their faith in these kids when they aren't super sure how the differences are going to affect their game. So he was a star player in the USHL. He's probably going to be a star player in college, but that doesn't necessarily translate to AHL, NHL skill. So if he can keep growing and if he can keep getting comfortable and getting stronger and better, that's just only going to help him going forward.
Right, and with that too, that indicates though, especially his high school career to USHL to now, he's proven to be a very well-rounded, a very, like Janae said, a very responsible player, but that's also off ice. During this whole pandemic thing, he's literally just been building muscle and working out, which a lot of these players have been, but to take that initiative, being that he's coming out of the USHL, he probably does not have that individual coaching or hadn't had it up until college, guiding them and showing them, okay, this is what you need to do, this is your nutrition plan, etc. He has been able to do that, but a lot of it comes from his already existing discipline when it comes to training. And it was mentioned too, and we watched a little bit about this, he was a multi-sport athlete in high school. He was the player of the year for baseball and hockey. 2 very different sports, but both focusing on a lot of reflex.
It really just shows that he can put his mind to something and he can get better. So going from high school to USHL to college to then probably AHL, NHL, it just shows that he is developing in the way that you should as a hockey player if you want to get into the NHL. And I think that that's great as a 4th rounder that he's already got that talent going forward.
Right, exactly. And that, all that to say that if you are able to excel in multiple sports, it's not saying that, everyone should.
And it's not saying you're better than other people.
Exactly, but it's saying that he's very intentional about different types of reflex play and things like that, and different types of focus and awareness, which is going to play into his further development on the ice as far as his awareness goes and his own spatial control and what he needs
Right.
to do, which it's already been proven so far. And I think it's just going to get better as he continues to grow with Wisconsin.
Yeah, he looks to be a good stick handler as well, which is super important. Really fancy with his footwork, really fancy with his stick work. So I think that that's going to be. I'm really excited about, after seeing his footage, I'm really excited about him, and I think that he's going to be a really good asset going forward. So to improve, he's forward. So he himself said that he needs to better use his strength and his size. So that we see a lot when you're coming. I don't know. It's just a developmental thing. You learn better to use your size to your advantage as you keep playing hockey.
As you get placed in these leagues.
Yeah, as you get in leagues that force you to do that. Because in high school, it's tough hockey to watch sometimes because it's not. It's hard to gauge fully the skill of a player, I think, because of the level of hockey it is sometimes. So you can. It's
kind of like lower level college. Like
D3
you can be
D4. You can be a sharp shooter, but it's like, okay, the defense wasn't super great, or
this kid just came out of Pee-wees and he's the goaltender. So.
A million other aspects to it, but to be put in scenarios where you have to use your strength and your physicality a little better to your advantage, I think that college is just another stepping stone to that, and I think he'll only get better.
I think, and I think we probably didn't even segue this, but we're talking about his improvements now. So
you guys know the drill.
You know how this goes. Take notes. So the second and most, I think, important overall riding theme for him is going to be the fact that he is a fourth rounder. He is a later pick. He needs to impress. Being in a Big Ten school, he's going to have a very good platform to do that, much like our other prospects. Mastro Simone being one of them, he's taken the college route too. You need to have something and develop in a way that's going to force the team to look at you. But
I was going to say, you got to make them watch you.
Exactly.
There's so many guys that they're keeping track of.
Exactly.
And I'm sure during this pandemic, they are making sure that they watch everybody closely because there's not a ton else going on. As far as play. So the benefit to what is going on now is that I think the college guys may be getting a little more attention. Yeah. And the guys who are over in Europe are getting more attention. So those guys who aren't maybe playing right now are going to have a little bit more of a hill to climb.
Yeah, exactly. But with him, and he did state this, and a lot of other commentators have said this, and so with the scouting reports, it's not an impossibility. Look at Gus Nyquist, Nick Jensen, Andreas Anthony. All of them fourth rounders.
And none of them on our team anymore.
None of them. We traded them all. But they're all gone. They have all developed into very good NHLers. So with where Stange is at, he can look at those players and go, okay, it's not impossible. And he even said it himself. You all start at the same level. You're all developing, drafted or otherwise. You're still trying to gain the attention of the NHL clubs, and that is where his head needs to be, and that's a great place to be. But there's also nice to look ahead and see that encouragement too.
Consider it. Joe Veleno and Philip Zadina are still trying to get noticed by the teams. They were first-round draft picks. Yeah. So that has something to be said for it. So if he can develop faster than even like second or third rounders,
it's going to cause an uproar for Detroit fans.
It doesn't mean if you're fourth round or later or second round or later, it does not mean that you are hugely at a disadvantage. It just means that you got to work a little harder, and if you've got that tenacity, then I think you can make it pretty far. With anything in hockey, I think if you've got the tenacity, and he seems to have the good hockey IQ, all the buzzwords that you need.
The 200-foot game.
Yeah, all those,
Stranger things have happened. Or should I say stranger things
And I really think that he's going to be a great player going forward. So where does he fit to you?
He's definitely a long-term project, for sure. Taking the college route, I like that. The fact that we've got that 4 years, he's got that 4 years to really find a little bit more controlled center, if you will, of what kind of game and player he wants to be and where that fits. The league is going to change a lot in that amount of time. Yeah. You think 4 to 5 seasons ahead, maybe even 6, and you're looking at he's going to be 24, 25. Who knows what the NHL is going to look like at that point? We already got an expansion team coming up. A lot of things shift season to season, especially after this year. So I think he is a long-term project, but I think after college he very well could be an ELC kind of player, maybe at the AHL level. Maybe they stick him on a Euro route. He goes Big Ten to Euro and see what he does there. But there's also all these other moving pieces throughout the leagues and throughout the world that he's going to have to fight against. So he does have an uphill battle, but I think he could, if he pushes hard enough, I think he could make it.
Yeah, I think he could be a power forward, and it's just hard. We're just speculating here anyway, because it's just hard to know, of course, how things are going to progress, and of course, if he's going to really shine and really be a star. But I do think it will be an uphill battle as far as It's at least 4 years out. I think he'll finish all his college there. It's in the later rounds, it's almost guaranteed that they're going to finish their college career.
They should.
And that I think will just do him wonders. So that is what we think of Sam Stange, and let us know what you think in the comments. If you've seen him, he is not a local boy, but he's local to America. So if you've seen him play,
he's local to our pocket of the US.
We can actually get footage on him because he's, local to the U.S. So let us know in the comments if you've seen him, what you think of him, and thank you so much for all the comments. We love reading them. Rachel loves reading them. She reads them to me. She answers them all. So thank you, Rachel. Hand clap.
Oh, pray hands.
We will see you guys next time, and thank you so much again. Goodbye.